Hello, and welcome to the Aligned Soul Woo and the Do Business and Manifestation podcast for entrepreneur women who don't talk about it, they be about it. This is your frequency shift to help you create the business and life of your dreams by shifting your energy and making moves. In this podcast, we are going to talk about how to navigate the ebbs and flows in your business. This is for you, whether you are starting out or heading for your first, second, or third seven-figure year, because it is a test of leadership and you get to learn how to lead when no one is watching. This is a live that I did in my YouTube live series that is going to start happening every Thursday at 10 a.m. And this series is such a powerful series because we are going to talk to you about how to be that balanced and in harmony business owner who can lead her business and have the most amazing life that she's absolutely obsessed with. We're talking about the aligned soul, Woo and the Do TV, and we are going to have so much fun. In this podcast, we're going to talk about overcoming challenges in your business after setbacks, how to lead with confidence and authenticity, overcoming self doubt in your business when things look like they're not working, targeting, like if you have a target audience, how to cater to diverse opinions of people that come in and they are not feeling what's going on. What do you do? Embracing what I call self leadership. Self led woman is the person that is going to have the super success in your business. You are self led. That's why you're attracted to my content. That's why you're enjoying all of the things that we're talking about. And one of the biggest things that I have seen in entrepreneurship is when you have especially women where they want to use some excuses, oh, it's my moon time, or oh, Mercury's in retrograde, and oh, all of those are excuses. What we get to do is come back to our own self leadership and not be victims and decide that we can choose how to move forward in this situation and start looking for solution based, solution oriented steps that you get to take and not let anything else come in between you and your vision. Okay, so we're going to talk about a conversation about self leadership and overcoming grief and what you can do as a business owner if you're in the middle of experiencing grief, handling negative clients and staying true to your vision, aligning your actions with your identity of being. Like for me, it's the $10 million woman. How do I, show up as that woman every single day, despite things that may happen that don't look like it? And there's so much more in this valuable conversation. As I mentioned in this conversation, this is connected to the Creatrix Challenge. I suggest you upgrade to the 297 Creatrix Challenge, which includes Content Alchemy and a 30-day Creatrix Content Challenge, which gives you one prompt each day for 30 whole days and helps you to create content that connects you with your ideal client and also make money. The link is in the show notes if that excites you. This episode is going to blow your mind. You are going to come out of it a better leader, a better woman, a better person, a better friend. And remember this. Please subscribe, leave a 5-star review so that people can find this podcast, and sign up for my free email series, which is called Frequency Shift. This is where I send daily emails that help you create the life and business of your freaking dreams. Those notes are in the show notes. You can also join the best business and manifestation magic membership called the Be Collective. That is also in the show notes as well. And if you have any topics that you would like for me to discuss, send those suggestions to woo and the do at anahob.com. Without further ado, here we go for how to navigate the ebbs and flows in your business as you are growing.
All right.
those of you who are watching for the first time, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Christine Michelle, and I am the CEO and founder of The Aligned Soul, which is a personal development and business accelerating brand. And so most of my clients are entrepreneurs who have their own businesses, their own personal brands, and they want to shine, and they also want to manifest an amazing life with it. So that is what I do. That is what we do. And so today we are going to be talking about leading when no one's watching. This is super important. I wrote a post today and it said, how do you create a brand, a multi-6 or 7-figure brand, caring what other people think about you? Did you guys see that post? If you haven't, it's on Instagram. It's very good. You can swipe back and forth. The answer was you don't. You can't create a super successful business when you are so worried about what everyone thinks and what everybody thinks about your vision, your career, your choices, where you're going, your vision. And so that is why this is such an important conversation. And thank you to Janelle, if you're watching now or you're watching on the replay, for asking this beautiful question, because this is going to help you step up and lead yourself. And it's also going to help you show up for yourself in times when it gets difficult. Okay, so let's see. Stephanie says, yeah, now we're playing in our own Super Bowls, the Woo and the Do Bowl. Yes, it's the Woo and the Do Bowl. And let me tell you a situation. I'm going to describe a situation. You let me know if you've ever felt anything like this. Okay. So you've been showing up in your business. You've grown your audience, whether it's on Instagram or in this case, Janelle had grown a Facebook group. Over 400 people, and she's only had that group for a year. So she's grown a group of 400, and I believe it was 37 people over a year. She's posting, and then she had a post that she absolutely loved where she was sharing her truth, and it was in an energy that she loved. And so she did the post. Let me know if you're feeling me picking up what I'm putting down. She did the post. The post dropped. She was so proud of herself. And then she lost a member. Someone left the group. So she felt disappointment in her body, in her soul. Like she just felt this strong disappointment. And questions in her mind started to come up. There's this palpable disappointment that makes you go, what did I do wrong? Why did they leave? Should I have said something different? Should I have shown up differently? Let me know. Put some ones in the comments. Have you ever felt that before? Have you ever done something, showed up, you were so proud of yourself, and then all of a sudden, one person says something negative in your comments, or one person leaves, and then all of a sudden, that confidence that you had has dwindled? Have you ever felt that before? Stephanie says, yes, I felt that before. Guess what? We all have felt that before. All of us. I felt that way before. I felt that way. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories. I have felt that way before. It is normal. Let's see. Z says, yes, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. And so even though I'm going to tell you all the things you know. Okay. You know all the right things. You know that attrition and people leaving your group or unsubscribing from your email list or no longer following you, you know that is normal. You know it in your mind. You also know, right, that some people aren't going to love you. You know that some people are going to leave. You know this. And you also know that, like, for example, for Janelle, she knows she has 436 other people. That one person leaving is not a big deal, but yet she still feels like, why did they leave? Why did they leave? She still feels that. Let's see. Z says, yes, absolutely. Self-doubt is emotionally excruciating. What can I do to counteract? Yes, the analysis paralysis. This is what we're talking about today. I am going to show you how to not only counteract it. I'm going to show you how to move yourself through it, because in order to lead a successful 6 or 7 figure business, you have got to be able to self lead. You have got to be able to lead yourself through this because it is normal. So here's the first thing I want you to remember: you're normal. You are so normal. You are normal. You're a human. This is what you get to expect to happen. And because you're doing the work you're doing, a lot of you are coaches, you're healers, you're mentors. Some of you have created these beautiful brands where you have product that is just so close to your heart and you want everybody to love it. Okay? And because you've created these things and you want everyone to love it, so you go into business because you love people and you want to help people and you want them to do better. And your heart is so big and so open, right? You don't want to change that. You don't want to not have an open heart. You want everybody to desire, what you're doing. You want everybody you want to help everybody. But what you get to know is that you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot have a successful and thriving and fulfilling business if you continually worry about what everyone else thinks and what everyone else believes. Let me ask you a question. I put this in my comments, in my post, but I want to see you answer it in the things. Does Vera Wang stop making wedding dresses because there's a small portion of people in the public that don't believe in marriage? Has she stopped creating wedding dresses? Give me some yeses or nos in the comments. Does she say because this group doesn't believe in marriage and they think wedding dresses are dumb and they think that they're not needed, society, patriarchal, has she decided I'm not going to create any more wedding dresses? I have someone that is a very, very close friend. She creates this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fragrance, and it's called Versailles. There are lots of people that don't believe in fragrances and think that the only thing you should use is natural stuff. Has that stopped her from creating a beautiful, amazing fragrance just because there is a group of people that don't believe that they should have fragrances? Oh, hi, Natalia. Natalia, the owner, is on this call. Hello. She says, absolutely not. Let's see. Heidi says, no. I'm going to ask you one more thing. You guys, a lot of you guys watched the football game yesterday. So does the National Football League, the NFL, do they stop having games because there is a small group of people that believe that football glorifies violence and that the long-term physical effect on the players is detrimental? Does the National Football League says, oh, they got a group of people that don't like what we're doing, I am not going to show up anymore? No. You have to remember you are a businesswoman. Yes, you're heart-led. Yes, you have so much love and compassion and this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful open heart. Yes, 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 yes. You have all of that. Yes, you have all of that. But I'm going to say something that is so controversial, and then I'm going to get into a little bit more details about self-leading. But guess what? It is not your business what folks outside of your target audience think or feel. I'm going to say it again. It is not your business what folks outside of your target audience and who you're talking to think or feel. Which means for Janelle, when somebody leaves and she was so passionate about what she posted, if that person didn't agree and they decided this group isn't for me, that is a good thing. That is actually a good thing. She should celebrate because it is allowing that person to find a space that's better for them. And it's opening up space for her to have more people come in that space is for her. And so we've got to learn how to not to take things personally. Not everyone's going to love everything we create because we're not creating it for the entire world. Let me ask you this. think about how big this world is. How many people is it? 7 or 8 billion? I think we might be up to 8 billion people. So if there's like 8 billion people in this world and you were able to connect with 300,000 of them, that means, I'm going to do it different. If it's 8 billion people in the world and you were able to connect with 800,000 of them, like it's a large people. It's almost a million people. You're still not connecting with how much? What is that? 800,000 out of 8 billion. Is that like 1%? So that means 99% of the world. I don't know if I'm calculating this right. I'm doing it in my head, but that's either 99% of the world. It does not agree with you. And you still have 800,000 people that are riding with you and riding with your message. Right? So who cares about the other 99%? Because you're helping these 800,000 people. They're not your target. So when you're attributing, you don't know what's going on with that person. That person could have been an old profile. They could have switched out and went to a different profile. Like there's so many reasons why. And when you attribute your success, your happiness, and all of that to someone else's situation or something else that happened that's outside of you, you give your power away. And you're no longer self-led. You're being led by the circumstances. Let me say. Stephanie says, I was almost to a milestone with my YouTube subscribers and then lost one subscriber. My first reaction was, what? And then after a few breaths and reflection time, I recognized that this was a good thing. They are not my target audience. Exactly. And we also need to remember, this is just one thing I'm going to tell you all, guys, just about like the do piece. When we think about followers, Instagram, Facebook, like those type of things. When we think of followers, there's a lot of bots and there's a lot of people that are just following to follow because they think that you'll follow them back and they're going to unfollow. And if you let yourself be jerked by other people's actions, you are going to be jerked all day. Those people that could have been the YouTube person could have been a bot. It might not even be a real person. It could be a system that's liking and unliking, and they might not have unfollowed you because they didn't like you. It just was the time for the system to unfollow you. But then you've changed your whole thing, your whole world. You allowed it to like curl you into a ball when it really had nothing to do with you. There's a quote in Game of Thrones that I put in the post that I did today. And it says, a lion does not concern itself with the opinion of sheep. If you can always remember that you're a lion, you're a lioness leading her brand, her business, the opinions of anyone who is not in your target audience, that's the sheep. And when you decide that you are going to be a leader, you're going to be the queen of your castle, you're going to be the leader of your movement, then you get to not think about anything else other than your vision, your mission, and where you are leading your audience to. Stephanie says, definitely have to remember bots are a thing. Yes. So that's just a simple thing to just say, oh, it doesn't matter. Somebody could like you and unlike you. It might have nothing to do with what you said and everything to do with them being a bot. And then if somebody is leaving and they specifically did not like your post or they didn't like the way you presented yourself or they thought you had too much cleavage or something, then they're just not your people and it's opening up space for more of your people. So one of the things that I was talking to Janelle about was that the importance of being self-led and how you act when no one is watching. So when no one is watching and you see, so for example, I have had over 8,000 unsubscribes on my email list. And if I let all of those unsubscribes take me out, then I wouldn't be sending the emails and I wouldn't have, over 10 or whatever thousand people on my email list now that actually open and read them. If I was so worried on the people that left, then that takes my attention away from the people that are there. And so what's important for you, there's a community, and all of you are here because you own businesses, you're an entrepreneur, you have a vision, you have this mission, you have something that you're creating in the world. As women, there's a conditioning that's happened over the generations, right? Where women were told that they couldn't handle things. You couldn't handle responsibility, right? In 1972, we finally got the ability to have our own credit cards, handle our own finances. And as a CEO of your business, what are you? You are responsible for not only the vision and the mission for a business, but you're responsible for the finances. You're responsible for any staff or any people that begin to work for you. You're responsible for, leading this mission. You're responsible for bringing, like, you have clients and things like that. You're responsible for all the things. And there's been a movement of people to think that women, you can't handle responsibility. And so there's something underneath where we're like, can I handle it? Can I handle it? And I'm here to tell you, you wouldn't have this dream if you couldn't handle it. And so leading when no one's watching means embracing the responsibility, having strong self responsibility. And that's where we're getting into self leading. And I'm going to walk you through Z acts, like, what do I do? Like the self-doubt, it can be emotionally excruciating. Like, how do I bring myself out of this? How do I let go of the fear, the obligation, the guilt? How do I do that? I'm going to walk you through a process that I do to allow myself to lead myself through this. But you've got to understand that responsibility is actually a good thing. What do I always say? Discipline equals freedom. Discipline equals freedom, right? That's something that I always say. And the reason why discipline equals freedom is because you are deciding to show up for yourself, and you are deciding that I am going to be disciplined in this situation, and I am going to be self-responsible for myself. I'm not going to blame anyone else. I'm not going to blame anything else. I'm going to embrace the challenges. I'm going to embrace it all. Right? And so in order to allow yourself to have it all, you've got to embrace it all. I'm going to tell you a story. So you guys know I'm sitting a bliss pine. Yes. You guys know that I'm deciding that I get to have a multi 7-figure year, right? So the $10 million year, I'm being $10 million Christine. And as I'm asking myself, like, how would I show up? What am I doing? If I was to have an audience of 1 million, which means that in an audience of 1 million, there could be about 100,000 of those people that do not like me, that only follow me because they don't like me and because they want to say negative things. Kim Kardashian, anyone, right? People follow her just to hate on her. Taylor Swift, they follow her to hate her. Beyonce, they follow her to hate her. But guess what? In order to have that status, right? In order to have what you desire. Oh, no, I love it. Blissciplined. It's like blissful discipline. I love it. Okay. But in order to have what they have, right? To have this movement and to be leading something big, they have to be okay that someone isn't going to like them. And it could be a lot of people saying a lot of negative things about them. It could be a lot of people making lewd emojis and lewd gifts and lewd things about them. But if you're always running away from someone not liking you, if you always have to be the good girl, if you always have to be the person everybody likes, you are not allowing yourself to receive it all. And so that's why I say you have to embrace responsibility. You have to look really closely at, am I being self-responsible? You have to embrace challenges and embrace it all, like not push things away. And so when I'm thinking about, like Z said, like, what do I do? Like I'm feel frozen and I feel like I'm in the fog, right? Fear, obligation, guilt. I don't know, like somebody does something that they don't don't show up, or I'm self-doubting and saying, can I do this? This is when you have to move. I'm going to tell you the things to do, and movement is the easiest and the quickest way to move through anything. I don't want you to process and sit. I want you to process and move, because when you process and move, then you can really be aligned with it. Okay. The reason why we get stuck where we are is because we're doing all the processing, we're journaling, we're thinking, we're in the mirror, we're doing the mirror work, we're doing all the things, but we haven't taken action in alignment with that. So guess what? You haven't shifted. Yes, emotion is energy in motion, Z says. So here's what I'm doing to really become a leader of from a leader of thousands to a leader of millions. I'm looking at how I lead myself through the ebbs and flows of business. Like my intention for the Legend Mastermind, I had this vision that Legend was going to have 30 people in it, and that's how big it was going to be, and it's going to be amazing. And guess what? It's my vision. It still gets to happen. But did it all happen in January? No. So I could have taken my ball, wrapped it up, and walked away and been like, oh, okay. Or I could celebrate each and every person that's in there. There's about 6 people in it, and get excited about it. Keep sharing it with all the people, talking about the amazing breakthroughs that these women that have said yes are going to happen. And what is going to happen before the end of the year? There'll be that 30 people. Or I'll decide, you know what? I'm going to have 2 versions of Legend, 15 and 15. But I didn't take my ball and go home and quit because it didn't turn out the way I thought it was. So logically, I know in my head, okay, this isn't exactly what I envisioned. So I know that, and I know the right thing to do is that it doesn't mean anything about me. It doesn't mean my business is working. Da, 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 da. I know that. But if my mind and body are not in alignment, guess what? You don't really know that. So if Z is doubting herself and she feels like, oh no, da 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 da, but in her head she knows this is not smart. Oh my God, I know that this, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. But then she's in her body, it's saying, no, you can't. Then she's not aligned. And so the magic is when you can shift the state and physically and mentally. So both ways. Yes, the monkey mind, right? You can, your mind can be like, I know, but if your body doesn't know, you don't know. Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Heidi, Natalia, Stephanie, Z, Lauren, are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So this is what I do. Mentally, I know when people left. Yes, I see some ones in the comments. Z says, I choose to surrender, but it's easier said than done. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Get your pen and paper. Everybody get ready. Heidi says, yes, I love it. So mentally, I acknowledge the people who have left. So let's say the same thing happened and somebody left your spot, or they said like all the things and they did all the things and they decided to leave your space. I acknowledge them. Like I don't let it just stay here. I will say, okay, I see that, 70 people unsubscribe from my email list. I'll say, okay. And I'll tell myself, you know what? It's great. This is the mental part. It's great. You know what? They left. They found a new place. I wasn't the person for them. And I know that they're going to find their place. Okay. But I don't leave it in the mental. I feel in my body the disappointment, any tension, because I have a big heart. You have a big heart. Heidi has a big heart. Z has a big heart. Stephanie has a big heart. Natalia has a big heart. Everybody on this call, every replay, you all have big hearts. And so what I get to do is acknowledge the disappointment and any tension that's in my body. And then I work to shift my state from the disappointment and the tension to a neutral space. So moving the energy up and out. You can do this in many ways. You can do this by just tapping any discomfort areas, and you can keep telling yourself, I know that, I can release it. I know that this is why, and I know these people are doing things right. So you're moving it. I love to do thymus tapping, because thymus tapping, I can breathe in and breathe out and just say, you know what? I'm wishing them well. I'm wishing them all the things. Disappointment we can release it, but didn't mean anything about me. So I'm moving my body and I'm tapping it out. And you can do this also by speaking, and you can dance or move, walk, shift, because you want to shift your energy so that it matches energetically where you know it gets to go. And movement, just physical movement, helps. Now, I'm not talking about the action that you're going to take. This is just to get your mind and your body aligned. Then I'm going to tell you about how to get your identity behind this. So there's three parts, okay? And so I'm moving so my body can like let go of this energy, because the disappointment is coming because there's something either in my past where I felt other people leaving. I felt sad because they didn't like me as much, or I couldn't please them, and it could be from parents. It could be all those things. It can be from many, many different things. It doesn't matter. But I get to move that out of my body because it's came up so that it can move through. And energy is supposed to be in motion. But when you stop your emotion, you stop the frequency and it gets stuck in your body. So this is why it's coming up again, so that it can move. So I'm shifting back to a neutral space. It's all right. They found their place. It's going to be okay. I'm going to be fine. Tap, 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 tap. Right? Then I go back to the truth that I know and I take aligned action. What does that look like? So for me, if I'm tapping into having a multi 7-figure year, then I'm coming back to the identity of the me who already has multi 7 figures. And what does she do when somebody leaves her audience? She makes sure she continues to email the audience that she does have. She celebrates and she looks at that audience. She creates new things for that audience. She writes her next post. Right after 70 people left, she writes another one and she gets that ready for the next time she's going to talk to them. So do you see how I took an action and I said, you know what? They're in the right, better space. And I'm going to love on the people that exist, the people that are buying, the people that are in my world, the people that are saying yes. And I'm getting ready for the future people that get to say yes. So I am doing my PEV method and I'm getting ready to be the woman who has millions in her audience. She's not worried about the 100,000 that don't like her. She's not worried about the other millions that aren't in her audience. No, she doesn't change that. She comes back to her mission, comes back to the vision, and she decides that she's going to create for the people that are there. So when we think about the fear, how does Z said? Z said the fear, obligation, guilt, you shift those feelings out of your body. You could also use my Aligned Soul Alchemy method. If you guys are a part of the Beat Collective, we talk about that a lot. And you decide, okay, I am going to acknowledge this. I'm aware of it. And this is my new thoughts. This is the way I decide I get to feel. And then that personal energetic vibration method, the PEV method, is where you align your intentions, decisions, your actions, your feelings with the you who is like, okay, that person left, but I'm still amazing. I'm still who I am. I still get to show up the way I know I get to show up. So how does a person show up who has an audience of raving clients who love her? She continues to create content. She continues to create in alignment with that. So she's leading when nobody's watching. So how do I go? Let's say, so Legend didn't turn out to be like what I thought it was going to be, but it's still damn good. So what am I doing? I'm giving my all to the people that said yes. I'm showing up as if it was showing up for 100 people, because I know one day it could be. Right now, just even with this live, I am showing up as if I am talking to 2 million people. The energy is here. I am excited about it. I am giving you all of me and I'm serving my ass off. I'm not waiting for the 1 million people to get here. I'm seeing it as 8 million people are here right now listening to me, and they're so excited. They're loving this. They're like, yes, this is so good. Thank you, Christine. So that when I look at this masterclass a year from now and there's 8,000 views, 8 million views, I'm like, yep, it was good, right? Because I know that that's what gets to happen. Self-leadership is key when you're building a business. Leading yourself means that you show up when you don't feel like it. It means you do the hard thing. It means you push yourself beyond the edge. It means that you're responsible for the business and you own that responsibility. It requires you to trust yourself and trust your word. right? Self-leadership. There was a lady. I'm going to tell you one more story first before I get to the other story. Let's see. Z says, I'm taking notes. Yes, Natasha Bedingfield. I love Natasha Bedingfield. I have your book, your self-love masterclass, and the entry-level alignment manifestation courses. I love reading the money shadow clearing decree that you have in your Kindle book. Yes, I love that. Thank you. You guys get the book. It's called The Aligned Receiver. It's very good. um, there's a story. There was a young lady who put a post in a group, and she was saying that she wanted to end her program. So she sold the program to a group of people, but she felt like she priced it too low. And she wasn't super excited about showing up for these people. And so she asked, what do I do? Like, should I just cancel it and give them their money back? Blah, blah, blah. And my response to her was, you've got to lead yourself through this. And you've got to decide, okay, I priced it that price. These people said yes. This is my time to show up for them. This is my time to show up for them. It doesn't matter how I feel. They said yes. And I get to serve my ass off to these people. I get to present it to them as if they paid me $1 million each. And if I show up for these people as if they spent $1 million with me, giving them $1 million of my heart and my love, then guess what? These people, first of all, are probably never going to leave her world. They're going to always want to be around her. They're going to be so appreciative of what they got. But she's also going to have an asset that she created that she could sell for I don't know how much more and make money for the rest of her life with that same asset just because she showed up in her full energy. And so I was like, you've got to lead yourself through this. Who cares? Okay, you priced it at that price. You thought that price was okay. So now just give them what you promised them. So then she said yes. And then there's one other factor because she didn't include this as a factor. She then says, well, my mom passed away a month ago, so I'm still feeling some grief. And I know that that is also something that is, why I'm not showing up. So she thought that because she talked about the grief, that was going to change my suggestion. It doesn't. We all go through shit, grief, breakups, death. And I said, well, if you were working for someone else, like if you were working in a corporate company and it was not your own company, guess what? You'd have 3 days of bereavement leave and you still would have to come in after that. She's had a month. She's taken a month off. I said, look, I know grief is not just something you get over. Actually, grief can last for a very long time. It comes in waves. That's just what it is. I said, that doesn't change what I'm telling you to do. You still show up for your audience, but just be honest with them. Tell them, my mom passed away a month ago. So sometimes I'm going to come in here. My soul's going to be on fire. I'm going to be like, boom, this is the way it is. And sometimes I'm going to be sad. Sometimes I'm going to be reserved. Sometimes I'm going to be down. Help me through this. Like walk with me through this, just like I'm going to walk you through what I promised I'm going to do for you. So do you see how that's self-led? That's somebody who's saying, I'm going to lead myself through this. I committed to this for this group. I'm going to give them my all, but I'm also going to let them know what the elephant in the room is. And the elephant in the room is I'm still going through grief and I'm going to have ups and I'm going to have downs. But that does not change showing up. That's why I created the Creatrix Challenge. Those of you who are in it, yay, I'm so excited. We start on Valentine's Day. It's so you can show up and create in alignment with your heart and your soul every single day for 30 days. And you get to be responsible for yourself. You get to say, I promised myself that I'm going to show up for myself and my business. I'm going to sell every day for the next 30 days. And I promise you, your business will look totally different. Because yes, things are going to come up. Yes, things are going to shake free. Yes, you're going to have fear and you're going to have the obligation and you're going to have the guilt. But guess what? You're going to commit to showing up for yourself and you're going to be moving through this as you process, as you move through things. You are going to move through it and take action. In March, I'm going to have a 4-week mastermind that's called Self-Led. This mastermind is for you if you are growing a 6 or multi-6 or 7-figure business. It is to help you rise in your leadership. Leadership is something that when my clients come to me, they leave me as the best leaders for their staff, for themselves, for their families. Because in order to have a huge business, you've got to learn how to self-lead. You've got to lead when no one's watching. The most questions that I get from my 7 and 8, like my 6 and 7-figure entrepreneurs that work with me, are leadership type questions. Questions about how they can show up even though this has happened. Even then in this, how can they do this? What do I need to do? What decision do I get to make? Do I let this person go? Should I move this person from this? How do I show up even though I had a huge breakup? Because tell me in the comments, do you want self-led clients? Tell me in the clients, do you want clients that lead themselves to your offers, that do the work, that say yes, that take the action? Do you want, put some ones in the comments, do you want self-led clients? I can promise you that you do. Well, in order to attract self-led clients, who needs to be self-led first? You. Camber says yes to self-led clients. Heidi says yes, 11111. But you've got to be self-led. You've got to be the first one to be self-led. Stephanie says yes, self-led, 111. Yes. So you've got to lead yourself first. And in order to do that, you've got to have the self-responsibility. You've got to know how to work through things, even when things are happening. You've got to learn how to show up for yourself, even when it's hard. You've got to know how to say no and how to say yes, what to say no to, what to say yes to. You've got to know how to trust yourself. You've got to see the person unfollowing you and not make that mean anything about you, and not make that change the way you talk about your business. You've got to be the Vera Wang selling wedding dresses for thousands upon thousands of dollars, even though there are people that are saying weddings are dead. Nobody wants to get married. Like, oh, marriage is ridiculous. And if you are feeling called and you want to be a part of this 4-week mastermind, it is $1,200. And it's going to be a pre-sale price until after Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is Wednesday or Thursday. I forget. The price will go up after that. So if you're interested, DM me the word self-led, and I'll see if you're a good fit. Let me see. Natalia says, coincidentally, I had a client harassing me last week. Yes, Valentine's Day is Wednesday. Okay. So yeah. So because clients that the clients that are harassing you, we get to say, okay, this doesn't mean anything about me. Let's see. Let me do the things I know I get to do to handle my part of the street, right? Make sure that's clean. Make sure I've given them everything I promised them. Make sure the communication is right. All of those things. And you also get to, say, okay, I'm going to lead myself through this, but we can't control how the other person acts, reacts, and how you experience it. And we get to, the more we lead ourselves, the more we show up for ourselves, the more we hold ourselves accountable to our words and to who we are, we're going to start to see things reflect back to us with a different type of client. But this isn't to say you'll never have a problem client. I just had a problem client last year. That didn't mean I wasn't self-led or I wasn't good, but guess what? There were parts of me that wasn't showing up and being as strong with my word, as strong with, I know this is the way it needs to be. And there were pieces of me that was like holding back myself. And that was God, universe, challenging me to step back up into what I knew got to be said and what I knew needed to help make this person successful. Once I did that, guess what? Everything shifted. But it started with me. So remember, there are going to be people that are going to unfollow you. You want that. You want that. Celebrate the unfollow, celebrate the unsubscribe, celebrate the people that aren't in alignment with you. Because if there's people that are saying, I don't believe that, or I don't da 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 da, then you're like, okay, good. I don't need, that's perfect. That means that they can go off to the sunset. What did I see? What are the two big things that I said? What? The lion does not concern herself with the opinions of sheep, and it is not your business what people outside of your ideal client base think. It's not your business. You can still be loving and kind and care, but you also get to create in accordance with your vision. You get to be the person who's living your vision. And if that person doesn't believe in what you're creating, then that person isn't there for you. In the hive, those of you who are in the Queen's Court, all of you queens, there was one of the clients in the hive was saying that she experienced a situation where people were like, you aren't this and qualified to do this, and you're not this, and I'm going to report you here and there. First of all, everything that she's doing is in alignment. Everything that she's doing is exactly what she gets to do. And everything that she has created are things that are great. Like the processes are amazing, and they're making differences in people's lives. And so I said, don't let one person who's angry or who is not ready for the medicine that you've created shift you from showing up in the powerful way that you've been showing up. Because we get to remember that we're not here for everyone, but the people that you are here for have the ears open and they're ready. They have their credit cards out and they're ready to purchase. They're so excited about you, your brand, the movement. They're excited about you. But if you decide to pick your ball up and go home because one unsubscribed person leaves a membership, someone else does something else, then you aren't fully allowing yourself to be aligned with your vision, your mission, your desires. And so what's super important is for you to use this being self-led to help you align with where you know you're going. Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So if you aren't a part of the Creatrix Challenge, where we are doing launching your feminine creativity in a way that you will be creating so much content, you'll be like, oh my God, like this was so easy. I'm so creative. I'm showing up for my audience. I'm selling every day. And guess when you sell every day, guess how much more money you make? A lot. Join the Creatrix Challenge. Lauren is going to drop the link here for the Creatrix Challenge. If you want to be a part of the 4-week micromind, the mastermind that's called Self-Led, the $1,200 mastermind, DM me either on Instagram, or if you're on Facebook, just DM me and send me a message that says Self-Led. I want to know if I want to be a part of it. And then you and I can talk, and I can find out, I want to find out your vision. I want to find out where you are in your business. And then we'll see if you're a good fit. And then I'll get you the link. Again, like I said, it's on pre-sale for $1,200 until the day after Valentine's Day. The day after Valentine's Day, it's going to go up. And I haven't decided if it's going to be $1,500 or $1,800 when it goes up. Okay. Self-lead. Who are you when no one's watching? This is how you know what you're in alignment with. Let me tell you one more story. When I was tapping into $10 million me, like who is me? I told this story in the B Collective. Some of the duchesses are here and some of the queens from Queen's Court are here. This lady said, if you knew you were going to receive X amount of money today, what would you be doing, saying, being, acting differently? And when I thought about it, I said, well, if I think about $10 million me, I've created the business strategies, I've thought through those things. I know those can scale really easily. I'm taking the steps every day. I'm showing up more live. I'm doing those things that I would want to do. And so I said, my actions probably wouldn't change. I said, my intentions every single morning, what I'm intending to do, how I'm intending to show up, how I'm presenting myself to my audience and to myself wouldn't change. The things that would change were me thinking more thoughts of this is working. Oh my goodness, I'm blowing up. I'm feeling amazing. This is the way it needs to do. So my thoughts, that thought belief piece got to shift and change. And then what also I knew I needed to change was I needed to change and intentionally feel the it's working feeling and intentionally feel the happiness and the joy feelings, the appreciation. I need to go deeper into appreciation, appreciating where I was now and being excited for the more that got to come. And so when we think of ourselves and you think about like, am I being that next level me? Am I leading myself in a way that I know that me would? So as he said, she's choosing to surrender. And then it's like, okay, as you're surrendering because the fear or the doubt and the guilt, what are you doing next? Are you taking the action that you were doubting was the right action? That's what's going to move you through it, because maybe you're doing the inner work piece, but are you taking the action that's totally opposite of if the doubt? So like if you doubt and say, I don't know if I'm, going to be able to sell this program, then go sell it and show yourself you can. Decide that this gets to be sold and sell it like you've never sold anything before. So you see how like we get to do the shifts energetically, but you need to do the movements. For me, I'm doing all the movements. I needed to make sure my energy was aligned with it. And so you've got to go to and say, what is there any pieces? Do I need to do all the things, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, intentions, decisions, and actions of that me, my identity that knows that this is what I'm doing? Or do I have half of the equation, but I'm not pushing hard on the other part? Only you will know. And that's how you get to lead yourself. You're taking responsibility for how things are unfolding and how things are showing up and how you're speaking and the people you're talking to and what results get to happen. You're not pushing it off or blaming someone else or saying, I'm not blonde and blue-eyed, so no one's going to buy my thing. No, you're not saying any of that. You're saying, I'm here. I decided it gets to work. It's a desire of mine. It gets to work. I'm taking the action to do it, and I'm going to be responsible for whether it works or not. Z says, yes, aligned emails, Pinterest marketing. This is what, yes, move. So my homework for you is for you to look at, am I leading myself? When someone unsubscribes and I feel that funky feeling and I acknowledge that that feeling exists and I decide that, you know what, it's okay. I'm going to do my thymus tapping. I'm going to be like, they're in the right place. I'm in the right place. They weren't the ones for me. Now I need to move. And then what do? You say, okay, let me love on the people that are there. What can I send them? What can I do for them? What can I share with them? And how do I continue to show up for the people that are already there, that have already said yes? The more you serve them, the more you show up for them, the more you appreciate them, the more you love on what you already have. Let the people go that aren't the ones and allow more people to come in. Let's see. He says, that's why I love feminine financial flexibility. Yes. He says, working smarter, never harder. Yes. Stephanie says, this material came at the perfect time for me, moving today, both recording and creating content. Yes. Yes. Super important. All right. So I'm going to go. This has been so yummy and juicy. I'm going to be live actually in Instagram for like 15 minutes at 1:15, I think is the time, with Hannah. Hannah is she's another coach and mentor, and she's going for a multiple 6-figure or 7-figure year this year too. And we've created something that we're going to talk about that is for your audience, my audience, and her audience. So if you come join me on Instagram live at 1:15, if you're interested in creating every single day, imagine how your business is going to look different from you showing up every single day, creating content for those specific people, getting engagement from the people that are a part of the Creatrix Challenge, and really having those prompts that are specific prompts to help you create and connect with that audience, but also show up for yourself. Then you get to join the Creatrix Challenge. It is $97 for 30 days. I'm telling you, it's going to change your business and life. And DM me self-led if you want to be a part of the self-led mastermind. I'm excited. Let's see. Z says money, martyrdom, money, and anorexia are extremely victimized mindsets and are emotionally expensive. So I chose to reclaim my energy. Yes, yes, yes. We always have a choice for where we focus our energy. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I believe Lauren is dropping those links. I haven't seen her yet, but let's see. If you don't see Lauren's links, I am going to drop it here too. So let me try again. Okay. Here's the Creatrix Challenge. And then, like I said, for the mastermind just DM me and we'll talk about, like, I don't have a sales page. There's nothing for that yet. I don't even know if I'm going to do a sales page because it's happening very quickly. It's going to start in March. And so I might just sell it in the DMs and then, give you all the details and then send you the confirmation links and all the things. So I'll let you know, but if DM me and then I'll give you more details. But there's the link for the challenge. So yay. All right. Do you guys have any more questions? These were great questions about leadership, self-leadership, leading yourself when no one's watching, what that feels like, and things that you get to do to shift yourself back into being a leader. Let's see. Oh, where do you watch the Instagram? The Instagram, I would say go to my Instagram, because once I join her Instagram, that will be, I will be on hers, but you'll see me live because I'm a part of her Instagram. So I'm going to give you my Instagram. There we go. I don't know, Lauren, if they're blocking your links because I can't see them either. So I just posted it. I see Lauren there right now. Oh gosh, that's okay. All right. So thank you so much. I'm going to do these possibly every Monday. I'm gathering some topics together. And if you haven't signed up there is a add event calendar, and I'm going to add these to the add event calendar so that you can just see the dates when they're coming, and I'll definitely send an email. Let's see. You said, what's your favorite worthiness mantra for increasing the income in your business? You know what? I love to say, I'm worthy. I was born worthy. Nothing ever changed. I get to say I am worth. I decide, this is one thing, and maybe I can do a whole video on this, but the most important thing about worthiness is to decide that you're worthy. Because the only reason why you don't think you're worthy is because you made a decision, and maybe somebody made it for you when you were younger, that you weren't worthy. And so what I do is every day I decide that I'm worthy. I'm worthy of this, and nothing's ever changed. I am worthy. I am smart. I am this. And I do talk to myself in the mirror about worthiness and how I'm so worthy. I'm amazing, because we have been told, especially women, if we think of women and then we think of women of color as well, have been told that you're not enough. You're not worthy. Who are you to think that you can do this? Women were told you couldn't. Hey, remember I talked about capability. You can't handle money. You can't even have your own credit card until 1970s, right? And so we have to remind ourselves that we wouldn't have these visions. We wouldn't have this desire if we weren't worthy of them. They come up because we're worthy. And so all we have to do is decide and keep deciding over and over again that we're worthy of it. And so I have a method. It's called the Aligned Soul Alchemy method. And that's where we do the 5 steps. I shared this in the Be Collective for how to align energetically with your feminine. You remember we talked about simple planning last week? The next video was in the Be Collective. I told them how to integrate this and how to energetically align with it. A big piece of that was for them to align and decide that this was what gets to happen. And when you decide that this is who I am, anything that doesn't align with that will come up. It's going to come up. It's going to be like, woo, woo, what about this? What about this? What about this? And you're going to be like, ah. And you get to remind yourself that I'm deciding that this is what I want. And I wouldn't have this desire if it wasn't for me. So the reason why I have this desire is proof that it's already mine. And I don't have to prove that I'm worthy. I don't have to prove that I'm enough. I'm deciding. And so by doing this, right, you get to decide over and over again. And what I do with the Aligned Soul Alchemy process, it's a 5-step process of me being aware that I don't think I'm worthy, acknowledging all the reasons why I don't think I'm worthy, loving myself, and just accepting that, you know what, that's a feeling that I had. And maybe that feeling kept me alive for some time. And maybe it kept my ancestors alive, not thinking that they're worthy. So they didn't go out and try to do things that they weren't supposed to do. Maybe that's what kept them alive. And so I don't need to be mad at that belief, but I just get to say that time for that belief is now over. So I acknowledge it. And then I decide to love and appreciate myself, the one who didn't think she was worthy, the little girl who didn't think she was ready, the piece of me that doesn't think that I can do it. I'm going to love that piece of me. And then I'm going to bring it along with me to say, yes. And now look at what we're going to decide now. And the last piece is alignment. I'm going to decide. I now choose to believe that I'm worthy and nothing ever changed. I now choose to believe that if I have the desire, that means that I'm worthy. That's the answer that tells me I'm worthy, because I wouldn't want it if I couldn't have it. I wouldn't want it if I wasn't capable of holding it. And so the more you can tell yourself that, the more you can start to say, this is the alignment, because the alignment step is the 5th step, but it's the step that doesn't end. It's the step where you keep reminding yourself and creating new beliefs and keep deciding over and over again that I'm worthy and nothing ever changed, that I have this desire. So it means it's already mine. And I'm going to decide that this is just the way it goes. I'm going to decide that everybody else's beliefs and what got them through their lives was good for them. And now I'm the one that gets to do it differently. And so that's where you get to go. He says, what's an effective question do you use when you are feeling resistance within your business? I just, whatever resistance is, if you see, tell me an example of the resistance that you're feeling, because what I do is I see resistance as telling me that I should do it. So if I feel fear or worry, should I go live on YouTube? If I'm feeling fear about that and resistance, that means that is a yes. So I use fear and resistance as evidence of this means that I need to move through it and I need to go through this edge. And I don't allow it to stop me. I just go through it. And of course, there's going to be the thymus tapping and the moving and the somatic tools, the breath work, all of those things that you can do to help you move through it and do it. But I find that once you take the action in courage, in bravery, most of that stuff dissipates. It goes away because you showed yourself that you can do it. And then once you show yourself you can do it, there's no fear there anymore. Thumbs up, everybody, please. I was born worthy and nothing ever changed. Yes, cheering yourself in the mirror. You want to do that? Absolutely. As a BIPOC woman, I certainly crave more worthiness, wound healing. Yes. And you've got to decide. So we need to do the wound healing. We do need to do that inner work. You guys know I'm about the woo and the do. But then there comes a point too that you decide that this is just the way it is. It works for me. I'm knowing that I'm good enough, and you've got to decide it, and you've got to keep going and keep going and keep deciding it. Yes. Permanent generational trauma, scar tissue, psychic surgery. Yeah. And just be like, you know what? Nothing's ever permanent. It's all fluid. When you can do healing, certain healing, and when you can look at the deeper pieces and generational healing, when you can decide that, okay, this happened in the past and I'm changing it now, do you realize that heals it for generations past? So it even changes the energetics through, because remember, there's no past, present, or future. It's all happening simultaneously. So anything that your old generation or the past you has experienced, when you decide to heal it now, you decide it gets to be different. They're all coming with you and decide the same thing when you can energetically decide it and decide that it gets to change. Yes, you wouldn't want it if it wasn't for you. Yes, 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 yes. Yay. All right. I love you all. I'm going to end the stream now. I will let you know I'm going to be back here next Monday, but I don't know the time. I'm leaning towards 10 a.m. because I think that's a good time for me to get in and, teach until through to 11. So I will let you know, and then I'll be here with all of these wonderful topics. So
Thank you so much for showing up, being here, sharing your hearts and your souls. And we will definitely send the replay out. And then you can always come to the YouTube channel and watch. So, love all of you. Bye.